Hello, my name is Keith, aka LoLByTheNumbers, and welcome to another 2014 League of Legends World Championship video analysis. Once again, this is a video analysis, not a shoutcast, so I will be assuming you have watched the match or are okay with spoilers. I will be primarily focusing on macro level strategy, team compositions, and win conditions, and we'll also move into lane matchups, item choices, and just general play if there's time during the match. So let's get into the picks and bans. For this game, we have Starhorn Royal Club versus TSM. This is their first match played against each other in the group stages. From Starhorn Royal Club's side, we have Maokai Alistar Nidalee ban. They're really focusing on Dyrus. Happens a lot in the group stages, so every target ban is on him. This leaves up Ryze and Aurelia as the top two choices for this match. Rumble as well, but we don't see it this game. For Team Solo Mid, we see the bans of Fizz, Lee Sin, and Lucian. We know Wild Turtle does not play Lucian too much, preferring to go after Corki, Tristana. This game we'll see Corki. Works out in their team composition. It's these first two picks that kind of throw me off. So, in the picks and ban phase, I have a little bit to say. We see Zilean being first picked. And one of Zilean's big things is the global experience gain he gives to the team. This is particularly important in this match because TSM are going to pick Ryze and Zed, going for opting into a 1-3-1 or a 1-4 split push throughout the game. Zilean is really good against split pushes because he gives his team the experience advantage. If you want to run a split push comp, you really need to get ahead so you can make sure you're able to run that split push and even potentially draw two people down to stop you. When the other team has Zilean, this becomes harder simply because of the EXP gain that the enemy team gets. So here we see Team Solo Mid on their first rotation picking up Ryze and Zed. I really don't like the fact that Zed is being picked up here. I don't think there's a reason for Team Solo Mid to dedicate themselves to their mid lane champion when Zilean is picked. Yes, Starhorn Royal Club could be running Zilean support, however, Zilean support is really weak, so I would let that go through. What this does for Starhorn Royal Club is it immediately tells Starhorn what TSM is planning. They are planning the split push, either the 1-3-1 with Ryze and Zed in the side lanes, or a 1-4-1 with Zed pushing and Ryze with the team in the middle. This allows Starhorn Royal Club to pick Rengar. Now, Insect loves Rengar anyways and might pick it up no matter what TSM's team comp is. But in this particular composition, Rengar is an amazing pick because it shuts down split pushes so very hard. He's able to just gank through lane, get in, provide the snare and damage. He traps split pushers into a 2v1 without them having any warning, simply because he can lane gank with his ultimate. If TSM had waited on picking Zed and say had picked their ADC or support instead, they could have seen the Rengar pick and then realized, okay, I can't run a split push, let me pick some other mid. Could have gone with the Orianna, Xerath, Ziggs, Syndra. Anything would have been better at mid lane. Move into a group team fight, because Ryze can fit into that very well, though Zed does not. And that's one of the best ways to deal with Rengar, is to do group team fights. One of the best ways to deal with Zilean, get AoE on your team. So get that Ziggs, get that Xerath, Jace works well too, Orianna, anything to split out the damage. For the final rotation for Starhorn Royal Club, we see Aurelia and Janna, both strong champions. Aurelia is actually really good against Ryze. She gets bullied out early, but once she hits her ultimate and Rasheen, she can all-in Ryze and almost kill him, or if not, actually kill him. From Team Solo Mid's side, we saw Nami and Corki picked up. I like these two picks when you're running a split push, because Nami provides great engage, she's strong in lane, and Corki is also a lane bully. He should win out his lane matchup against the Tristana. Does not end up happening this match, and we'll talk about why. However, The big thing Corki brings to a team is wave clear. When you're lacking wave clear in your other lanes, Corki provides what you need. Phosphorus Bomb and his rocket ultimates can clear waves easily. It allows you to run your 1-4 or your 1-3-1 split push and not worry about the other team being able to push into your towers very easily. This means Zed could focus all his time in another lane, and even Ryze could focus all his time in another lane and not have to worry. Elise, Corki, Nami are very good at defense. Have the disengage from Nami tidal wave, have the stun to run away from Elise. Corki provides wave clear. It's very decent. I would actually prefer Kha'Zix instead of Elise in this matchup. I don't like Elise unless you're running at least 3 really good CCs. And Nami Bubble, while good, is unreliable, and so is Elise. You kind of need 2 reliable CCs or 2 really quick line shots. Say Ari Charm works well, rather than a lobbed bubble. This allows you to get catch and chain 1 CC to the other. She works really well with Ryze, since I like that, but she doesn't work so well with Zed. There's nothing she can bring. And the other problem is that since Starhorn Royal Club do have Aurelia up top, this hinders Elise and Ryze's power because of her built-in tenacity. Whereas if they had picked up Kha'Zix, Kha'Zix could have provided a consistent slow while they chase her down the lane, as well as providing more damage in the fight to try and burst her before she gets away. So, in this match, in the pick and ban phase, I really feel this is a huge part of where TSM loses the game. They gave away their opening strategy with the Zed pick when they didn't need to. They got counterpicked by Rengar and with Aurelia onto Ryze as well. And the Elise pick, the final pick, just doesn't quite fit this team composition, I think. Kha'Zix would have been better. He's got the slow and the large AoE wave clear for the 3-man team to defend with, as well as having a better escape with the leap and invisibility. I think those 2 picks could have really changed this matchup. Even if they wanted to stick with Zed, get the Kha'Zix. If they wanted to stick with the Elise, pick up Ari, Orianna, Xerath, Syndra. They all work well. Somebody who doesn't have to go in, somebody who can stay back and deal with Rengar when he tries to hop in. Preferably someone with AoE, that way you can spread out the damage against Zilean. That would also fit well in with Ryze's ultimate, and with Corki's bombs and Qs. Plenty of AoE damage would have kind of hindered Zilean's ability. So, now I'm going to talk about team compositions. I'm going to start with Starhorn Royal Club, because TSM, I think I'm going to have to talk a little bit more on what they need to do to win with this composition that's kind of been countered. So Starhorn Royal Club, their win condition is simply to deny TSM the ability to split push. If Starhorn Royal Club can keep Ryze and Zed from getting a lead, then they can easily just run 5-man or run the lanes better than TSM can and out-split push them. If Aurelia gets ahead of Ryze, she can easily dominate her lane, and Zilean, if Zed ever leaves his lane, Zilean can be fast pushing. Rengar can easily be in the jungle between where the split push is and the main team, be ready to provide backup with his ultimate, and have the better ganks than would come from Elise. It's really all Starhorn Royal Club need to do is just deny TSM. Use Rengar to get the picks. Use Zilean to speed him up into fights. They have the tools. Their game-winning condition is just shut down TSM's plan. They can do it. When they do get ahead, Starhorn Royal can just run around the map and pretty much do whatever they want. Aurelia can bully Ryze, Zilean can fast clear middle, roam, go pick up a tower, do a lot of rotational movements through the jungle, and find TSM making a mistake. As soon as TSM is out of position, Zilean Rengar can collapse and kill a target really fast, as well as cover huge amounts of ground to get to that target. So, once again, Starhorn Royal Club just need to deny TSM, and then make TSM make rotational mistakes while Starhorn Royal Club runs the stronger lanes. So before I get into TSM's win condition and what they need to do, I want to point out something in the spot lane. Tristana, Janna are winning. They really should not be. Corki is a bigger lane bully. Nami can, with her heal, can let Corki take a couple hits early on, heal, get the damage out as well. There should be a big focus on either. There should actually be a big focus on attacking Tristana, getting her low from level 1, get the fight. The TSM have the better level 1. Just go at them. Make sure you get that level 2 as well. Don't let Tristana push. Don't let Starhorn Royal Club push as they did and get the level 2 and level 3 advantage. They needed to get level 2 first, and they had all the tools to do it, especially with Corki's Q on the second wave. Easy to get ahead in the damage. What I want to point out that's going to happen next is on Nami. Nami does not pick up her bubble. At level 3, Nami has level 2 heal and level 1 Tidecaller's Blessing. I do not like this at all. You need that bubble. I would always suggest getting bubble first or second. It's just a huge amount of potential damage and potential damage denial. There's no reason to not pick it up by level 3 especially. Up top we see Aurelia getting away. This is what I was mentioning. They don't have the slow, the consistent slow they don't have, and the tenacity gets her away. It's just not enough with Elise up there. So here in the bottom, we're going to see TSM's way behind. There could have been a bubble right there on top of Tristana. That would have been huge. It would have stopped so much damage onto Nami. It would have allowed Corki to get even more damage out. It was just the opportune time. Tristana, Uzi is so aggressive, he leaps into a situation that should have been an easy Nami bubble. And this is why TSM's bottom lane loses so hard, is they did not put the pressure on they needed early when they are the lane bullying duo, and Nami is not picking up the right skills. So having said that, I'm going to move on to TSM's win condition, their overall compositional strategy. As mentioned before, their macro level play is split pushing. They want to get Zed ahead, they want to get Ryze ahead, they want to use these two to, one person takes the top lane and the other 4 go middle, or they do a 1-3-1. Either one will work out well as long as they're ahead. There's 2 key problems to this though. One, Aurelia is going to beat up on Ryze in the mid game. He's really going to, he just loses out in the all-in trades, and we'll see this about the time Aurelia hits level 8. The other problem is that Zed can't really do anything to Zilean. And just to point out, we see level 6 and level 5. This is just an issue of, like I said before, Zilean's passive. He gets ahead. It's a big problem for split pushers. So, with Zed against Zilean, Zed can't do anything to Zilean. Zilean throws out his bombs, he gets his push, and just walks back. There's no kill potential, especially at level 6. If Zed tries to go in, Zilean just ultimates himself, walks away, perfectly safe, continues his lane farming. Zilean's ultimate is also on a shorter cooldown because of his rewind. Picking Zed into Zilean just does not work. So what we're gonna see then is if Zed tries to split push, SHR can easily send Zilean to deal with him. They can also send Aurelia. Either one of them will deal with Zed very well. Aurelia because she's, naturally a great duelist, she gets tanky fairly early, and Zilean because there's no kill threat. And what this allows is if either one of them are in the lane for the split push, Rengar can just show up at level 6 and kill whoever's trying to split push. So TSM, that's their macro level strategy, is the split push, but it's just shut down by SHR's picks. With Corki, Nami, and Elise, they provide great wave clear as mentioned before. Once TSM splits into the 1-3-1, the 1-4, they'll control middle, they'll keep SHR at bay. They don't really have to worry about getting caught too much. Except for the fact that Zilean Rengar covers so much distance so fast. This does make it dangerous for TSM, and they should be playing tower defense wave clear rather than pushing wave clear. So what can TSM do in this situation? They've been countered by the enemy team's composition. They've forced themselves into this split push strategy in which they're also weaker in the team fight. So what are they able to do? What advantages do they have? Well, one advantage they have is Corki. Corki's much stronger than Tristan in the mid game. Once he gets his Trinity Force, there's a huge power spike. This is, however, countered by Aurelia. It's sort of a trade-off. Whoever gets the Trinity Force first is going to have a good amount of control over the map, and particularly Dragon. This also falls out of play because Rengar has much more potential at those Dragon fights than Elise. It's just TSM are in a lot of trouble simply because of picks. However, if Corki could get ahead, but he has not, then TSM can use his power, the disengage from Nami, and the mid-game sort of neutrality of Ryze and Zed Elise against Zillion Rengar, and focus on the Dragon. They need a lot of pink wards. They have to watch out for the Rengar engage. They need to hit him with the snare, followed by the cocoon, followed by the stun, take him out immediately. Be prepared for Zillion revives. TSM has to let Starhorn Royal engage and then back off. Before I talk about some what else TSM can do in the very, very early game, watch this play by Rengar. Dyrus is low, he's baiting. Rengar flashes the moment, see, flash, kill. The warning goes on to Dyrus, but there's no time to react because Insect flashes to get in range for the ultimate leap. If he had tried to just run up into it, Dyrus would have had the time to flash away, back off, he would have seen it coming. So any of you playing Rengar, realize that you can deny that warning time with a flash. And this is what we see that SHR are able to do with this Rengar pick. He makes the ganks easy, especially with the lanes he has. It's just overall a good, strong pick against split pushers. So for TSM, what they could have done, they really would have needed to start their strategy, realize from the start that they're playing a losing composition, and then make some a little bit crazy intense plays to try and combat it. What would have been a good plan is if they had done, say, a lane swap. Then they could have ran a fast push, maybe even gone for 2 turrets. Elise is great at the fast push, Ryze is good at the fast push because he's ranged. Send Corki Nami top, let Ryze and Elise go double jungle, meet up with the siege minion at the top turret, take it out, 4-man push, keep going, see if Starhorn Royal are going to react to this. This is not something many teams do at this point. It was popular at one time, and who knows, Starhorn Royal Club may have not been ready for it, but TSM needed to pull out some sort of trick to get their team composition ahead so that they can overcome the weakness of the matchup. I'll pick up back on that again because I want to use this to show how much stronger Rengar essentially is than Elise, and why Elise really needs her right compositions. We see we're going for the double gank. Both sides are waiting. And we just see Elise get annihilated. The other thing to point out is that Aurelia is prepared for this. As soon as the fight starts, she's already TPing in because she wants to make sure that her team has the advantage. You know, even if her TP is wasted, that gets her in position for the dragon, gets them in position for the turret. She's already there. Ryze, however, is late. He was not prepared to join TSM and make it a 4v2 instead of a 3v2. If Ryze had TP'd in early, perhaps he could have saved at least one of his teammates instead of having 3 people die. Could have been just 1 death, or maybe no deaths, who knows. If he had beat Aurelia there, could have snared her and let Elise get away. This is just an issue of preemptive TPs. Like, TPs most of the time in professional play should be planned. It's saying, hey, you guys are going to make this play, I'm coming to support you. Then we'll go take something else after. SHR had that mentality. Aurelia was planning to TP the moment the fight started, regardless of whether or not it was necessary. She was going to use the TP, would give SHR the dragon, In this case, it turned out very well. Aurelia gained 2 kills. They gained the turret, Rengar got a 3rd kill, and they took a dragon. Huge lead gained because she was already planning to TP. So backing up to TSM's macro level strategy, if they had done the fast push, they could have got 1 turret down. They could have moved, potentially got 2 turrets, done a 2-for-1 trade, maybe even traded for dragon. But it would have given TSM some gold. It would have opened up the map. And when you want to split push, that's something you really need to do. If you don't have any turrets down, if you haven't opened up the map, your split push cannot be effective. It's most effective when you can draw people away from other objectives. The further you can pull the team apart, the better. But when they have 2 turrets worth of defense, they can ignore you and let you take one of the outer turrets while they take one of your inner turrets. Or they can go for your team and let you take it, or it's just not as deadly if you don't have turrets down. Split pushes work because they start to put pressure onto the inhibitors, not just turrets. Taking out the outer turret, acceptable. Taking out the inner turret, not quite as acceptable, but then the moment you open up an inhibitor turret, the game changes. Especially if you can do it on one of the side lanes instead of just the middle. So if you can get turrets down early and get your team a gold advantage, then your split push can be more effective, especially when you're in a situation where you really have to be ahead. If TSM had done the double split push, or the fast push, gone through 1 tower, gone through 2 tower, then they could have sent Corki Nami bottom, perhaps sent Zed up top to deal with Aurelia, and had Ryze take over middle against Zilean. And Ryze will have more kill pressure against Zilean because he has consistent damage. He has the snare for when Zilean revives. And Zed will be able to fight Aurelia better early on, whereas Ryze is going through the mono-scaling phase. This would have also let Zed get his lane while the rest of his team gets some extra gold from the 2 turrets. So Zed would have had the advantage, especially against Aurelia if he had switched up to fight her, because Aurelia would have been denied CS. This would have allowed Zed to really come into his split push potential earlier and keep the advantage, which is what TSM needed to do. Zed could have taken several wards, been prepared to watch out for Rengar. He would have had more escape utility against Rengar, Aurelia than Ryze did. Really would have been beneficial for TSM to swap those lanes, especially if they were to get Zed an advantage through turret gold. By the time the second turret was done, you probably have level 3, level 4 on Corki Nami. You wouldn't have had them getting so bullied by this Tristana, which they really shouldn't have. They could have gone to the bot lane, just safely farmed, gone to the middle, and done wave clear. Something. There was more options, depending on how it went out, whether SHR reacted by taking Dragon, by taking the turret, who knows. There was just better opportunity for TSM to perform this fast push than on SHR's side. Elise is really good at taking the turrets. A spider, she can attack it from range, she has the CC to deal with people trying to defend, and her spiderlings attack the turret for lots of damage really fast. So that's what I think TSM should have done in this match. When you know you're going into something, a losing composition, you have to do something about it. You can't just say, oh, we're going to outplay them or something, because this is the world class level. Everybody's good. Yes, some people are better than others, but still, relying on outplaying as an inferior composition is not the right strategy. See, here we see Ryze doing damage to Zilean. If they had put Ryze middle, he could have fought Zilean more effectively than Zed did. So we'll go look at items. Rengar is building damage, and the reason for this is he has Zilean to back him up. If he can jump in, blow somebody up, and then die, get revived by Zilean, it's a win. So having building damage also allows you better potential in skirmish fights. You have the ability to control the jungle better, through warding, through making TSM make rotational mistakes. The moment you catch somebody out, it provides more power in that gank through the ultimate, rather than if you're tanky, you're going for the 5v5 team fights. But Starhorn Royal Club do not need to do the 5v5. They just need to let Aurelia do her split push thing, pick people off, keep the pressure on TSM through wave clear with Zilean, through the strength of Tristana now, as she's pretty far ahead of Corki. And with TSM being unable to split push, Starhorn Royal Club really don't need to do anything but wait on Tristana. Zed gets weaker the longer the game goes on. Tristana will pick up Quicksilver Sash. They also have the Zilean to deal with his ultimate. Corki falls off. Elise falls off even harder. Ryze is the only person on TSM's team who scales up, and he will be dealt with by Rengar, Aurelia, and Tristana. There's more power, they don't need to worry about it. And that's what SHR do through this game. And, you know, they've got their kills, they're looking for plays with Rengar's ultimate, and they're just denying TSM's ability. That tidal wave by Nami, just so you know, was really good. The whole point of it was to delay. There's no reason for TSM to really be fighting this. They got baited by Rengar heal and Tristana heal, and Tristana just plays this so well. Gianna comes in at the last second. This is just part of the strength, the weakness of Elise against these more battle-oriented junglers. TSM really misplayed that. The Nami ultimate used was for delay so TSM can get the middle turret. However, because they went for those kills, they didn't get the objective, and they got beat out by SHR's superior play in that situation, as well as their superior strength with Tristana and Rengar. So right now, TSM have literally no options. They can't split push. Aurelia's already beat Zed in the 1v1. Zed can't fight Zilean, because Zilean will just wave clear and sort of ignore him. And Tristana is getting to the point where she's almost to her hyper carry status. She needs one more item and she'll be good. She's got her 2 items, which is the real strong point. And as soon as she gets her Bloodthirster next, if that's what she goes for, I don't remember, then there's nothing TSM can do. They can't send Ryze to split push. They can't send Zed to split push. They're getting denied. If they wanted to make a crazy play right now, what would be a neat option is leave Corki Nami middle and send Zed Ryze to duo split push. Have one of them go down the lane and the other just sit close by for backup. Try and bait out a 2v2 or a 2v1. Let Corki do his wave clear in middle and just hope for the best. TSM would really have to dedicate themselves to a 2-man split push or a 3-man split push while Corki, Nami defend. And the whole goal would be, can we kill your turret faster than you can kill our turret? Because Corki has the good wave clear. He can knock out the wave in sometimes before it even reaches the tower when the big rocket's up. So this would be the goal of TSM. Can we trade objectives? Can we out-trade objectives and ignore the team fight? Without doing something like that, TSM are just going to lose. They have the weaker 5v5 team, and they can't split push 1v1. So running like a 2-3 would be an interesting choice. So we see Aurelia, she's building up AD next. She knows she can fight Ryze. She's not too worried about it. She has a lot better all-in potential against her. She's more worried about the Zed kill pressure. And because she's built the double armor items, it's all gone. Zed can't do anything to Aurelia. She's going to be the one to stop his split push. We see a lot of Frost Queen's claim coming out from the supports in Worlds, and it's rarely effective. I don't like it at all. It provides a minor slow, but I don't find it to be effective. The gold would be better used on Mikhail's, or even if you wanted some AP, going Morella Nomicon or Chalice, if that's what your plan was. But getting a Mikhail's, getting a Lock of the Iron Solaria is much more effective, and you're just wasting gold on Frost Queen's Claim. There are a couple instances where it is good. Say if you're Morgana on a big catch team, Morgana can use it to guarantee the snare, followed up by Elise, Cocoon, RE Charm, or whatever. We do see that used by Kaboom. And so I just much rather see better itemization coming out of Janna. Same thing to say with Nami. She's also... Oh no, see, Nami's doing the other thing. She's built up the Chalice, so she has the mana for spamming. She stopped at the tier 2 of the Frost Queens. I much prefer that. She'll get to, even while being behind, she'll get to her Mikhail's quicker than Janna. The other thing to note about Janna's item choice is she has picked up Captain's Boots. Captain's Enchant is really good for supports to pick up, especially if you're someone like Janna that allows them to move even faster. It's really great with Rengar, because if you're ahead and he's coming up for the gank, he just gets there even quicker. It's really good, and during team fights, it allows your team more mobility options, better ability to dodge skill shots, better ability to get into position. There should almost always be one person who picks it up on your team, especially if it's your support and they can afford it. It's a great pickup. More people should be considering it. See here, there was no reason for Rise to run down there. He should have just gone up around with his team. They were all backing off. We do see SHR losing out on a team fight. They tried a little too hard to force an engagement. They didn't get into it. Corki got off a lot of big AoE damage, but we see Janna using her ultimate, heals up the team. TSM go for Dragon because they didn't think that SHR was going to respond like this. SHR go run middle, going for the turret. Well, that's great use of Janna ult to sort of back off and say, hey guys, we're too hurt to fight, and the other team takes bait. This is one of the strengths of Zilean. He allows his teammate to go ham. Aurelia gets it, she goes crazy, takes tons of damage. Everything just gets cleaned up. At this point, it's just SHR has a better team fight, and they're too strong. We do see Iris picking up a nice kill. And a little bit, I guess, I'm not sure where he was running, I guess just away. And it worked out. Or he did see it from the ward. I can see it in the bush. Well, I don't think there's too much else to say about this match. SHR are just going to continue to deny TSM their ability to split push, look for objectives, fights in the jungle, and slowly push into TSM space. They've got a nice 8,000 gold lead. They've got all the turrets down. SHR have full control and can look for TSM to make a lot of positional and rotational mistakes. In most situations, I would say that TSM should dedicate themselves to the split push, but because of the disadvantage against Aurelia and the power that Rengar has against split pushers, it's really not going to be effective. SHR are in no rush because this Tristana is just going to outscale like crazy. She's already got her third item, got that last whisper, and Corki has yet to finish his second item. Tristana herself has a 4,000 gold lead. So SHR have all control. It's their game to lose, and it's going to be a hard one to lose. We do see... we want to look at the CS numbers. TSM have put a lot of CS onto Zed, whereas SHR has funneled most of it onto Tristana. She's got a huge... she's got over 100 CS more than anyone else on her team. SHR are doing this because Tristana is their strongest point, with Aurelia, Rengar, and Zilean already performing their functions of denial to TSM. SHR's best strategy from going forth is to get Tristana to that hyper carry status to make sure they have that late game guarantee. TSM do what they can. They have to make a play at Baron. They have to try something. They go to fight and they just get obliterated. If we look at the bottom lane, you can see how far TSM's creep wave is pushing. It probably would have been better for them to just rush bottom lane, give up Baron. They really have to trade objectives at this point. They can't fight for them. Once again, just do something crazy. When you get into this point, you have to do something. You can't really wait on the professional level for throws to be made. It does happen occasionally, but Starhorn Royal Club would have to throw 2 or 3 fights, maybe more. Even then, they still have the late game scaling much more than TSM does. So in this situation, you have to do something wild. You have to go rush 5-man bottom, try and trade an objective, let SHR take your middle, or let them take your top while you take an objective. You just have to trade to try and keep yourself in the game. It's very high risk, very high reward. More than likely it's going to make you lose faster, but it's one of the only chances you have to come back and win. While the rest of the game plays out, I'll start talking about lane matchups. Aurelia versus Ryze is an interesting one. Ryze has the ability to bully Aurelia pretty badly. For the first 5-6 levels, Aurelia should be pushed at her tower. You have to pick up Flask, you have to just survive and get what CS you can as Aurelia while Ryze is pelting you with his Qs, snares, and everything. At level 6, level 7, and especially when Aurelia picks up her Sheen, she can all-in Ryze. She has much higher damage potential, and Ryze is hitting his point where he's the weakest in mono building, and Aurelia is getting her strength as her mid-game power spike. Already talked about the other lanes, and, well, that's the match. If you take away anything, take away not giving your full strategy away in the pick and ban phase. TSM really just lost it by picking Ryze Zed when they didn't need to. They could have assumed that Zilean was going to be middle and saved their mid pick to not throw away their strategy to see what else Starhorn Royal Club picks up. Generally, ADCs and supports are good picks. They don't give away too much, and most any ADC or support fits into most team comps. The other thing to take away is when you realize that your team composition has been dismantled by the other team, you need to throw the other team for a loop and start early. TSM needed to get some snowball going on Zed, especially, and that could have been done by doing a fast push, getting him some extra gold from turrets, and then letting him run off to another lane at, say, level 6. If they had done this, they denied Aurelia, let Zed get his farm in the middle, get the 2 towers or even just 1 tower gold, switch off, then when Zed hits level 6, he can run top to fight Aurelia, Ryze goes middle to fight Zilean, where he'll be nice and safe, and also have better pressure against Zilean, and where Zed will now have the level and gold advantage against Aurelia and can start to bully her and keep her down. That's what I think TSM should have done. Like I said, they just needed to recognize that they were playing a losing composition and throw Starhorn Royal Club for a loop to figure it out. Well, this has been another video analysis. I hope it was informative, entertaining, or at least not droll. So once again, I'm Keith, aka LoLByTheNumbers. Thanks for watching. All of my 2014 World Championship matches can be seen at my blog. That's down below in the notes. Link to the portal page for the notes and videos of every match that I have done. Once again, thank you and take care.